Two and a Half Men ended with a piano falling on Charlie Harper's head 0:17 seconds. For years, fans wondered why the show chose such a brutal ending for its star character. Now we know it was Chuck 0:25 seconds Lorre's revenge for the most expensive meltdown in TV history. From Charlie Sheen's $2 million per episode 0:34 seconds demands to his tiger blood rants. This is the story of how Hollywood's highest paid actor destroyed a sitcom empire, and 0:43 seconds why it took 12 years for everyone to forgive him. Two and a Half Men started 0:49 seconds in 2003, created by Chuck Lorre and Lee Aronson. The idea came from a conversation Lorre had with a divorced 0:58 seconds friend struggling to raise a son while living with his bachelor brother. This chat in a Los Angeles bar on February 1:061 6 seconds 17th 2002 sparked the idea for what became one of the most successful sitcoms ever. However, the original 1:151 15 seconds concept was different. Initially, the story was about a single dad, his gay brother, and a straight son, but CBS 1:241 24 seconds worried it might be too controversial. They suggested a simpler setup, a carefree jingle writer, his 1:311 31 seconds uptight chiropractor brother, and his nephew. The idea clicked, and the final premise was 1:391 39 seconds. Born getting the show on air was a struggle. Just 2 weeks before the pilot was set to film, CBS almost canceled at 1:481 48 seconds due to the high cost of $1.2 million per episode, much more than other sitcoms. Lorre stepped in, cutting his own salary 1:571 57 seconds by 25%, and renegotiated aiding cast contracts on August 15, 2003. CBS 2:062 6 seconds finally gave the green light. The show's famous beach house set was based on Lorre's Malibu home. Designers visited his 2:142 14 seconds house on September 1, 2003 to recreate it on a sound stage. Even the theme song 2:212 21 seconds Manly Men was composed by Lorre himself in just 47 minutes. Right before filming began, the title wasn't easy to decide. 2:312 31 seconds. Either they thought of names like My Brother's Keeper and Teresa Crowd, but 2:372 37 seconds. None of them felt right. Finally, on September 5, 2003, they picked 2 and 2:442 44 seconds. Half Men, just 17 days before the show's premiere. Casting was full of twists and turns. Charlie Sheen wasn't the first. 2:532 53-second choice to play Charlie Harper. The role was offered to John Stamos, but he turned it down. 3:003 when they asked Sheen, he didn't want to commit to a TV show. At first, Lorre went to his house and spent almost 12 hours. 3:093 9 seconds convincing him to say yes. Sheen finally agreed for the role of Alan John Cryer. 3:163 16 seconds. Originally auditioned to play Charlie, but was considered too nice. They thought about Tony Schuff for 3:243 24 seconds. Alan, but in the end, Cryer got the role after a coin toss. Jay, the young nephew, was 3:313 31 seconds. Played by Angus T. Jones, he was the last kid to audition, and the producers loved him. There was a scare when he grew. 3:403 40. Filming wasn't always smooth. During the first week, Charlie Sheen and John Cer had an argument about how to say a line. Sheen got so upset that he left the set for 3 hours. So surprisingly, this helped them get along better later, and their chemistry on screen became one of the show's best parts. The first episode aired on September 22, 2003, and millions of people watched it. Far more than CBS expected. Critics weren't kind, calling the show predictable and crash, but regular viewers loved it. By the fourth episode, even more people were watching, and the show was especially popular with women. This surprised CBS, so they changed their marketing to attract more female viewers. The show also gained fans worldwide. By January 2000, for it was airing in 37 countries. Its German premiere on March 12, 2004 attracted 6.72 million viewers, breaking records for an American sitcom in Germany. The show's rise to fame was rapid. By the end of its first season in May 2004, it had jumped to 7th place in CBS's rankings with 15.31% viewers per episode. CBS moved it to the coveted Monday 9 p.m. slot for its second season, upsetting fans of JAG, the show it replaced. Despite its success, the pace was grueling. Writers worked long hours to keep up, with 3 being hospitalized for exhaustion during the second season. The show's popularity had unexpected effects. Alan Harper's character inspired a 22% increase in chiropractic school applications in 2005, and sales of Charlie's signature bowling shirts surged by 37%. By the end of its third season, in May 2006, 2.5 Men was CBS's top-rated comedy, attracting over 16.5 million viewers per episode. Its ad slots were among the most expensive, costing $414,000 for 30 seconds. On September 18, 2006, CBS aired a marathon of fan-favorite episodes in prime time, drawing nearly 18 million viewers. Charlie Sheen became famous for playing Charlie Harper on 2.5 Men. His character was a carefree bachelor who drank too much, dated a lot, and didn't care about rules. From 2003 to 2011, the show was one of the most popular on TV. At its best, during the 2008 to 2009 season, over 15 million people watched every episode. Sheen's natural charm made the character unforgettable. He was funny, but also selfish and flawed, which made him relatable. Many men saw him as living the life they dreamed of. What made the show even more interesting was how much Sheen's real personality matched the character. People loved that mix of reality and fiction. Sheen also made history by becoming the highest-paid actor on TV in 2010. When it was time to renew his contract, he was already earning $825,000 per episode. But Sheen wanted more. He demanded $2 million per episode, which shocked everyone. The producers, CBS and Warner Brothers, offered him $1 million, but he said no. The negotiations became so intense that they continued during an NBA game. Finally, just before CBS had to announce its fall shows, Sheen agreed to a deal. He got almost $2 million per episode, including extra profits. It was the highest TV salary ever. What made the deal even crazier was Sheen's personal life at the time. Just months before, in late 2009, he had been arrested for domestic violence. Still, the producers agreed to pay him because they knew the show couldn't survive without him. Behind the scenes, Sheen's behavior was wild. During season 7, he showed up drunk to film an episode. He couldn't stand without leaning on furniture and forgot his lines. The writers had to quickly change the scene and give his lines to other characters. Sheen also fought with the show's creator Chuck Lorre. He often insulted the writing and even ripped up scripts in front of the cast and crew demanding changes. Charlie Sheen's problems didn't start overnight. Back in 1998, he overdosed on cocaine, which led to his first time in rehab. This was the beginning of a long struggle with his personal life. On Christmas Day in 2009, Sheen was arrested for attacking his wife Brooke Mueller. He went to rehab again, but things didn't get better. In October 2010, he trashed a hotel room in New York City while drunk and naked. It cost $7,000 in damages, and once again, rehab followed. By January 2011, things had hit a breaking point. CBS and Warner Brothers, the studio behind 2.5 Men, decided to stop production of the show so Sheen could get help. But instead of calming down, he went on a wild streak. He threw a 36-hour party filled with drugs and chaos and ended up in the hospital. Still, Sheen said he was fine. He told people he had cured himself with his mind, claiming, "I closed my eyes and made it so." In February 2011, Sheen's frustration with 2.5 Men creator Chuck Lorre reached its peak during a radio interview. He insulted Lorre, calling him names like maggot and earthworm. He even used Lorre's Hebrew name in a way many thought was offensive. Sheen acted like he was unbeatable, saying he had tiger blood and Adonis DNA. He called himself a rock star from Mars and challenged Lorre to a fight. His bizarre rant shocked everyone and made headlines instantly. After this, Sheen started appearing everywhere on TV in interviews. He bragged about his drug use, saying he was banging 7 rocks of cocaine. He even claimed, "I'm on a drug, it's called Charlie Sheen. If you try it, you'll die." During these appearances, he kept saying strange things like winning and tiger blood, which became viral catchphrases. On March 1, 2011, Sheen joined Twitter and broke records by gaining 1 million followers in one day. People couldn't stop watching, even if they didn't understand what he was saying. CBS and Warner Brothers didn't wait long to respond. He got fired from 2.5 Men on March 7, 2011, and it shocked everyone. He was the highest-paid TV actor, making $1.8 million per episode, but Warner Brothers let him go anyway. They said his behavior was dangerous and unacceptable. They sent him an 11-page letter saying he had acted out of control, insulted the show's creator Chuck Lorre, and even possibly broke the law by giving cocaine to others. They also said he seemed sick and was harming himself. His firing also affected about 200 people working on the show and canceled 8 episodes, losing an estimated $10 million. It was a rare moment when a studio chose to stand by its principles instead of protecting its profits. Sheen didn't take it quietly. Just 3 days after being fired, he sued Warner Brothers and Chuck Lorre for $100 million. He said they had no right to fire him and that he was ready to keep working. His lawyers argued Warner Brothers had sided with Lorre to blame Sheen unfairly for all the problems. There was also a big fight about where the case would be decided. Sheen wanted it to go to court with a jury, but Warner Brothers said his contract required arbitration. In June 2011, a judge ruled the case had to go to arbitration. By September 26, 2011, everything was settled. Warner Brothers and Sheen reached an agreement, but they didn't share the details. People guessed Sheen might get up to $125 million, including $25 million right away for work he had already done and a share of rerun profits from the show, which could add up to $100 million over time. After Charlie Sheen, CBS needed a new lead fast, or the show might get canceled permanently. It wasn't an easy search. At one point, Hugh Grant was close to getting the role. The producers offered him $1 million per episode and talks were going well, but on May 10th, Grant suddenly backed out, saying he had creative disagreements. This threw everyone into chaos. The network's big presentation to advertisers was just days away, and they still didn't have a replacement for Sheen. Then, on May 12th, Ashton Kutcher's name came up. The deal came together quickly, and he signed a contract worth $20 million for one season of 26 episodes. This was a lot less than Sheen's $1.8 million per episode, but it was still a huge paycheck. CBS and Warner Brothers announced the decision on May 13th, just in time to calm everyone down before the presentation. Some people weren't sure Kutcher was the right choice. He was funny and charming, but his fans were mostly younger and the show's audience was older. Still, the show's creator Chuck Lorre believed in him and said they were lucky to have him. Kutcher made his debut on September 19, 2011 in the episode where his character Walden Schmidt was introduced. It was a big deal. Over 28 million people tuned in, which was double the show's usual ratings. The episode started with Charlie Harper's funeral, where it was revealed that he died in Paris after being hit by a train. This dark humor was a clear way to say goodbye to Sheen's character and make room for a fresh start. Walden Schmidt was nothing like Charlie Harper. Both were rich and good with women, but Walden was awkward, emotional, and going through a rough divorce. Kutcher brought his own style to the role, making Walden feel very different from Charlie. The show's writers quickly built a connection between Walden and Alan Harper. Alan, who had always been the clueless one, now became a sort of mentor to Walden. This role reversal added new humor and kept the show feeling fresh. Interestingly, Kutcher later said that the character of Walden changed a lot from what he was originally told. He didn't share many details, but it shows how much the show evolved as they worked on it. Walden's arrival changed the focus of the show. New stories were built around his tech billionaire lifestyle and his struggles with love and relationships. One episode showed Walden trying to win back his ex-wife, which led to funny misunderstandings. Another had him impulsively buying a $600,000 car, creating tension with Alan. The writers also gave Walden more emotional moments, showing his softer side while still keeping the humor alive. Other characters were affected by these changes too. Jake Harper, played by Angus T. Jones, had a much smaller role since Walden now took on the naive character type. Jake wasn't as important to the story over time. Jake's appearances became less frequent, and by season 11 he was barely part of the show. Angus T. Jones started acting on 2.5 Men when he was just 10. At first, it seemed like a dream come true. The show was funny, wildly popular, and made him one of the most famous child actors on TV. But as Angus got older, things started to feel different. The jokes, the storylines, and the overall vibe of the show didn't sit well with him anymore. By the time he was 19, he felt something was wrong deep down. He didn't like the way the show clashed with his personal values. In 2012, Angus shocked everyone. He appeared in a video for a religious group called the Forerunner Chronicles. He told people they should stop watching the show, saying, "It's filth." He explained that being a part of the show made him feel like a hypocrite. He also said, "You can't call yourself a God-fearing person and work on something like that." His words spread like wildfire. Fans couldn't believe what they were hearing. How could someone openly criticize a show that made them rich and famous? This didn't come out of nowhere. Angus had been struggling with this for years. He earned $300,000 for each episode, but felt guilty about it. He wasn't happy with the show's jokes about sex and drugs or the kind of message it sent to people. Even on set, everyone noticed a change. He wasn't the happy, hard-working kid they once knew. He became quiet and withdrawn. He even asked the writers to cut down his character's role in scenes he found offensive, which caused tension behind the scenes. What caused this big change? Around this time, Angus had found a new faith. He started going to a Seventh-day Adventist church and took it very seriously. He got baptized and wanted his life to match his beliefs. That's why he decided to speak out. But the reaction was a mix of support and backlash. Some religious groups admired his bravery for standing by his faith. Others in Hollywood thought it was ungrateful and unprofessional. The controversy exploded, and the focus shifted from the show to Angus's statements. The very next day, Angus apologized. He said he didn't mean to disrespect his coworkers or seem ungrateful for what the show gave him. But he didn't take back what he said about the show's content. After that, things only got harder. His relationships with the cast and crew became strained. People like John Cr. and Ashton Kutcher found it hard to understand his decisions. Even Chuck Lorre, the show's creator, was upset. Angus felt more and more isolated. In 2013, CBS announced that Angus would no longer be a regular cast member. By season 11, he didn't appear at all. In 2014, it was official. He wasn't coming back for the final season. Angus took this as a chance to start fresh. He went to college at the University of Colorado Boulder. He studied environmental and Jewish studies and focused on his faith. In a 2016 interview, he said he finally felt at peace. But there was a surprise twist. In 2015, Angus returned for the series finale of 2.5 Men. His role was small, but it brought his character Jake Harper full circle. Jake comes back as a successful adult who had invested money from his uncle and made a fortune. The final episode of 2.5 Men was a big deal. CBS started teasing it months before it aired. The finale was called Of Course He's Dead, and the promos hinted that Charlie Harper might return. Fans wondered if Charlie Sheen would show up, but the trailers didn't confirm anything. This kept everyone guessing. As the date got closer, the cast and crew worked hard to get people excited. John Cr. went on The Late Show with David Letterman on February 9, 2015, and called the finale crazy. He said fans would be shocked, which got people talking even more. A week later, on February 12, 2015, the second-to-last episode aired. It ended with a big cliffhanger. Alan got a package addressed to Charlie. Fans went wild with theories, and the hashtag 2.5 Men finale trended online.